when you look at the portfolio of things that you can do to help ensure that community members have staying power, affordable housing and the programs associated, that would be part of it. Inclusionary housing would be sort of a graduated part of it. So all of this together is, I'm thinking of as actions, interventions, and policies that we've taken as a council to help ensure that we create a sense of longevity and staying power for residents. I'm asking the question, do we have any way of measuring the efficacy of the programs that we do have, and what does that look like? And the reason why I'm asking the question is because I would consider this an extension of work that we're already doing. I would love to know that we're measuring that efficacy and actually getting results and outcomes on these policies that we're moving forward.
Yeah, I would say the council has probably the most comprehensive affordable housing strategy in San Mateo, and that, that was approved in October of 2018. And it's a 5-year strategy with very specific targets, of which the council's committed to developing 500 new affordable housing units. We've already approved 91 of those. You have another 135 coming with 965 weeks, assuming the council supports that. You've already preserved 56 units at Peninsula Park. You've committed to preserving 200 units over the 5-year period. We've gone after numerous monies since October. We did a semi-annual update of the successes of the council back in June. We have another one coming in December. And so, yeah, like I said, it's very comprehensive as far as how inclusionary fits in there. We were directed to bring an ordinance back before the end of the year, which we did tonight. And so I think when we come back in December, we can flesh that out a little bit more, how everything looks in totality. But yeah, so we do have the comprehensive strategy, and that's where I would say is most of the research to date or analysis.
Okay, so a final question. I'm going to ask it one final way, and I know we all got to fly tonight, so I'll be brief. Arguably, when the city was incorporated in 1983, affordable housing was part of the strategy then. It's not something that just materialized in 2018. So I hear what you're saying about what was started in 2018, but even then, that would be a continuum of what was started back when the city was incorporated. So from that point until now, which is, approaching 40 years, do we have any way of establishing that what we're doing is actually effective? Or are you only starting from 2018 forward?
I think I would probably have maybe some of your colleagues who've been around making some of those, because I wasn't around. I do see the portfolio of rental stock that we have. Several community members out here have been involved in decades of conversations, and so I might be not the best to discuss with on that, to be honest with you.
So then I guess my only request is, and again, huge supporter of this, but we do need to find a way to add that efficacy metric to what we're doing from a policy perspective, so that we have a way of demonstrating that we are actually driving the outcomes that we aspire for, that we hear strong support for on the microphone from our residents, to convince ourselves that we're actually making a difference here. And it's not clear to me, based on the metrics that we're following as city staff, as city council members, even as a community, that we have our eyes set on what success looks like in all of this. And where I come from, we are what we measure. And I think we need a way to actually establish that the policies themselves are driving the results that we're hoping and aspiring for as people, as residents, as city staff, and as council members. So it would be an upgrade that I am asking for as part of this, to make this really complete from an ordinance and from a policy perspective.
Vice Mayor, if I may add, I came on board at the beginning of May, and looking at it past to when you incorporated, I understand that your main mission was housing.
Indeed.
And having your own homegrown police force, the two main missions when you incorporated. And to that end, I've always been a proponent that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
That's right.
My background was in empirical political inquiry, statistics, but I haven't seen, looking back at the history from the date you incorporated to now, a consistent strategy you can say carries out for the long term that you can measure and keep it the same. There are changes that occurred every few years. We can go back several years and start doing that in increments and kind of gauge it for the period when the changes occurred. But I don't see a baseline that we could use to come up with it. But that doesn't mean we can't do it for certain periods. So we'll try and come back, not necessarily for next meeting, but come up with an approach for measuring those periods where you had inclusionary housing, measure what happened for those years. I'm not sure we can account for those periods in between, but we'll do the best we can in coming back with it. Our biggest enemy in defining it as a metric, it's not. I don't see a standard policy from then till now. But for those periods, we'll try and measure how many people that got into a program that had inclusionary housing are still in that house, in that apartment, in that unit, and will carry out for as many years as they are. May not be the best info, but at least it will give us a measure. So,
Agree,
yes,
and even if we
staff can
can't go
start doing
back
that.
retroactively for this
Yes.
ordinance today, we need something that gives us the true north for this day and going forward.
Yes, and from now going forward, we'll endeavor to do that, but I can't say we can do that tonight or even come back in a few weeks with consistent data that you can rely upon. Just
Understood.
Madam